Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3 in our series of Python for Beginners. As always, we're going to recap what we covered in the online live session last weekend, which was namely turtle graphics. So, turtle graphics is a concept that has been around in programming languages for a long time as a uh, means to introduce programming concepts to early beginners. Um, Turtle graphics allows you to essentially move a robot around a screen area, and as the robot moves, it can draw lines and make shapes, and you can use it in this way to make pictures or beautiful designs, or shadings, and so Turtle Graphics, you wouldn't use it for anything practical, but it's a great learning tool because it teaches you about positioning things on screens, how to describe where things are on screen uh, to a computer program, and also the kind of commands you would use to give to a real world robot if you are moving it. Move forward, turn right, turn left, move backwards, that sort of thing. So let's take a look. Let's jump in and take a look. Um, so I have the Mu editor fired up here, and uh, to there is a module library built into Python called Turtle that if you import it, so at the top of your program, import Turtle, you can then start to use Turtle commands and do Turtle graphic drawing. So at the top of my program. So now one thing to note to be careful of is you might be tempted to call your program turtle.py. Um, don't do that because the turtle module is a turtle.py. So I've called my program here my turtle prog.py. So now the as t part is just like I've said in other sessions, programmers like to be lazy, good programmers, and um, now maybe I wouldn't recommend using a nickname of just T, but because this is a Turtle graphics program, we're going to have to refer to the Turtle library that we've just imported several times every time we do a Turtle command. So rather than writing the full world of word Turtle every time, we are going to just call it T. So this is a way you can nickname a module if you want to refer to it somehow differently. So import Turtle, and we're going to call it T in our program. So that's what all these T dots are about. Now, so we'll just ignore this rectangle function for a moment. And this program I've commented out is what we did last weekend. We drew a robot made out of different colored rectangles. So I have that all commented out so it won't run for the moment. But what I have at the bottom here, just for now, to just give you a basic first look at activating and moving the turtle, we have these commands here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commands. So when you want to use a turtle graphic command, once you've imported it, you do t dot, we're going to do a goto. A goto moves the turtle to a new position on screen. And then these are what's known as coordinates. The first number is what's called the x coordinate. That's basically how far left or right on screen. And this is the y coordinate. This is how far up and down on screen. Now, where is 0, 0? So most graphical programming languages have a coordinate system which you use like positions on a map to position things on screen, to move things to different positions on screen. So in the Turtle module for Python, 0, 0 is defined as being bang in the center of your Turtle graphics window. I've done a little schematic here of that. So 0, 0 is in the middle of the screen. Moving to the left, x becomes negative. Moving to the right, x becomes positive. A negative number is a less than 0 number. You should do that by putting a minus symbol in front of it. So x is the first number in this number comma number pair. Y then is the second number, and that's how high or how low the turtle is on the screen. So in the top right, you might have a point like, say, 50, 50. Or in the bottom right, you would have 50, because x is still positive, but minus 50 for y, and so on. Okay, so our first command will, let me swap back to the program, sorry. Our first command will move the turtle to the center of the screen. So you can think of the turtle as a real world robot that is moving over a big white canvas, parchment, and you can give it a command. It has a pen underneath it, say, that you can tell it to put down on the paper when you're ready to draw. And then as it moves, that pen makes a mark on the paper. So when you're ready to draw, when the turtle's in position you want it to draw, you do this command, t.pen down. It doesn't take any parameters. It's a function. Sets the pen against the paper. Then we set t.pen size, so that's how wide you want the line to be. Now, it is defined in pixels. What's a pixel? So a pixel is the smallest part of your screen that can take a color. So they're very tiny on modern monitors. They would often be maybe 1900 pixels left and right, and 800 pixels, I think, up and down. It's a common setting. It depends on your monitor how big it is, how modern it is. The resolution of monitors, which means how many pixels have they crammed in, goes up all the time, because the more pixels, the more photorealistic, the more sharp, the more clearer the picture becomes. So when you might hear about sometimes about 4K TVs, they have a very, very high pixel count. So we're going to set the pen size is how wide the line is when it gets drawn. So we're going to set it to 5 here. Let me just move the code up a bit. We're going to move it to 5 here. But how wide that is depends on your monitor when you see it on your actual screen. Next, we're going to set the line color to blue. And there's a whole host of colors, a whole long list of fancy colors you can use. And then we're finally going to ask the turtle to move forward 100 pixels. So when I run this, a turtle graphics window, so now we have an actual application window, will pop up, and you'll see the turtle move forward and a blue line be drawn. So let's give that a go now then. And there you go. From the center of the screen, it pointing to the right, you can change the direction the turtle points, and it's moved to the right. It's actually an arrowhead. You can also change the shape of the front of the line of the robot, including into an actual turtle. Okay, so let's close that again then. Close our turtle window. And let's comment out those lines, because now it's time to build a robot. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. So we know we are going to build a robot out of several rectangle blocks. And so a rectangle block is done by setting the color, doing a command called begin fill, which says I'm about to draw a shape, and when I finish I want you to fill it in the color I say. And then we're going to draw a horizontal line, a vertical line, a horizontal line, a vertical line, to go all the way around the rectangle. But rather than writing 4 line commands for every single rectangle, what we're going to do is, and this is a perfect example of what functions are useful for, we're going to make a function that we can call whenever we want to draw a rectangle. So we're going to use a function to abstract, they call it, we're going to write a function that can draw any rectangle. And why any rectangle? Because we are going to make parameters that say how big a rectangle we want and what color. So the horizontal parameter will be how many pixels wide on screen we want it to be. The vertical will be how many pixels high, and then the color will be the color of the rectangle. So whenever we call rectangle, which we do if you remember by just writing rectangle, once we've defined this and passing the parameters, we're going to put the pen down because we're drawing. We're going to set the pen size to just 1 pixel. That's fine because we're actually going to color in the shape so that the width of the border doesn't matter at all. We're going to set the color to the color that's passed in. Now, just one thing to note, Python uses American spelling. So color function is color. So just so we don't get confused between the two, I've kept the parameter that we've defined ourselves. We could type anything here, my color, but we're going to spell it the American way just so they match. Then we do begin fill. So that primes Turtle Graphics to fill in the next shape you draw, as in color it in the middle. Then we're going to use a for loop. We did for loops in one of the previous classes. And we're going to do for a counter variable in the range 1 to 3. Now, the range is a function that starts at the first number you give it and ends when it gets up to the end number. So, but that means that it'll run once for 1, it'll run once for 2, and it'll stop then, because when it gets to 3, it goes, okay, I'm done. So this is basically a loop that will happen twice. And that's because we can get a rectangle by just doing these 4 lines twice. And how does that work? Because we're going to move horizontally, but then we're going to turn the turtle round a corner. And then we're going to go vertical, and then we're going to turn the turtle around the corner. Think of it like driving a robot. So at that point, we've done the top of the rectangle, and we've done the right-hand side. And we've turned, and we're pointing to continue. So then we repeat it, and we go forward again, and we turn right. And we go up, and we turn right, and we're back where we started. So we've not even done the 8 lines that it might have taken if we were doing, we weren't programming smart. Then we end fill, and that will cause the rectangle to fill, and then we do the pen up because we're predicting that we're going to move somewhere else to draw the next part of the robot, and we don't want a line tracking across the screen, which is what would happen if we didn't pull the pen up. So then that's the function. Everything indented belongs to the function. This is the main line. So when the program starts, we'll always have the pen up. Now this is the drawing speed, so you can, sometimes it's nice to see your design building slowly and to watch the drawing. Okay, so you can set the speed to slow, and there's a couple of settings. If I start typing in here, let me down now. There we go. We've got fast, fastest, normal. So you can go slow in your example if you want, and feel free to pause this video anytime to start writing this code yourself in Mu. But just for demonstration purposes, and so this video isn't so long, I'm gonna leave my speed at fast. Then we're going to set the background color. That's the background color of the window that we're drawing on, to Dodger blue, which actually is a light blue. So let me see, can we demonstrate that? There we go. So our guy is in the center, we haven't moved him anywhere, and we've got a lovely light blue background. Close that again. Let's draw some feet. So these are all previously worked out. And if you're drawing your own designs, you can get some graph paper or even just A4 sheet, make a box, put 0, 0 in the middle, and start to plan out your drawing. So what these commands do is they move the turtle. Remember that every time we draw a rectangle, we're going to finish with a pen up, and the pen is up at the moment. So this is a rectangle that is 50 pixels wide. This is a foot of the robot, and 20 high and blue. And Then at the same Y version near value near the bottom of the screen, but further to the left, we are going to draw the other foot, and they're both blue. Oh, I shouldn't have uncommented feet. And these comments are, as is good practice, to show what each part of the program is doing. So let's have a look at that. There we go. And now we have feet. Okay, so carrying on. Basically, the whole robot is more of the same. So here is the legs, which are going to be two gray rectangles. Oh, you can't see that because I need to close the turtle window. Sorry. There we go. The legs, minus 25, minus 50, 50, 100, minus 55, minus 50. Here is the body. And like I said previously, please feel free to pause the video if you want to capture these yourself, if you're following along. The body is just one solid torso, so one rectangle, and it's red. Arms are going to be grey, like the legs. So this is, and they're going to be jointed. They're going to have an elbow. So this is one arm, and this is the other arm. Let's see how we're going at that. Let me save that. Stop. And run. There we go. He's coming together nicely. Yes. Okay. Close that again. Continue. Neck will be this one, gray. Same to keep it in line with the arms and legs. There's the neck. And here comes the head. Red head. Then the eyes will have a white background covering the two eyes of a robot. But then it's going to have black pupils. So there we go. Just pausing that for a second. So there's the head. And there's the eyes. And the mouth is going to be a black, small, very thin. Look, see, it's only 5 high. Small, thin. Rectangle. And then just to finish off, we're going to hide the turtle, which hides the robot. So when we finish, we won't have a robot stuck on top, a turtle stuck on top of our drawing. Our drawing's finished, so we can hide the turtle. So let me give that a go. Save, stop, run. Ta-da! Ah, yes. And we added a little bit extra. Before we drew the last mouth turtle, we turned 5 degrees to the right, which gave him a kind of a lopsided smile. Let's take that out and stop, save, and run. His mouth should be fixed now. So it's up to you, and you can make the robot your own. You could give him little pincers for arms. You could give him, I don't know, horns. You could play with the colors. And there is absolutely loads of colors. They have names like long green, seashell, light blue. Here's some ones you can experiment with. But I also believe you can do it like, let's mess with his body. Let's mess with his body color, shall we? No. We're passing in the color, so would it work? Let's see. Okay, this is a total experiment now. I'm going off script here. I think you can do a hashtag, and then you can do hexadecimal characters for the red, green, and blue colors. So some of you who work with maybe graphic editors or photo editing programs might be familiar with this. So hexadecimal is the number 0 to 9, but then also the letters A to F. Um, so, and each two characters in turn is red, green, and blue. So if I do 00FF00, that's full green because FF is the biggest number in hexadecimal. So he should have a green body now, maybe. There you go. So rather than using names, if you really want to experiment, so that full green is a bit sore on the eyes. So let's take it down to DD, which is a lesser number. Yeah, that's better. Or we could mix in a little red. So let's maybe put in 25 red. I have no idea what color this is going to be. And so on. So, sorry, just maybe that was a bit obscured while I was drawing the robot. So there you go. So you can either use a word, or if you use the hashtag, you can do what's called a kind of a color, red, green, blue color string. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and hope you um, have your own go at drawing turtle graphics, and we'd love to see what you come up with at next week's session. Please let us know if you do give it a go, and we'll hope to see you then.